Hi there, this is Eshu. I'm the abbot here at Zenwest Buddhist Society. This Living Zen-podcast is just one of the many resources we've created at Zenwest to make Zen practice and training more available and accessible to people all over the world. Instructional videos, printable resources, and much, much more are also available on our website at www.zenwest.ca. If you're a regular listener, I'd love to hear from you. So please drop me an email at office@zenwest.ca and let me know who you are, how you got started, and what brought you to Zen. Everything we make available in person and online at Zenwest is only possible because of the support of our members and associates, people like you. If the efforts of our community are making a difference in your life, I'd like to invite you to show your support and take part in making it happen by becoming an associate or member of the Zenwest Sangha. You can do this by clicking the Join Us tab on our website at www.zenwest.ca. Thank you for your support, and thanks for listening.
So here we are in September, beginning a new season. The weather is right on cue. In our society, we have a tradition of new beginnings, back to school for some, a time for re-engagement, starting anew, perhaps taking up fresh possibilities. And in this practice, perhaps seeing old habits in a new way. There can be a freshness, an unencumbered, clarity, no longer burdened by yesterday or looking so much for tomorrow. Something new, something original. It can be exciting, we might have a tingle of newness. A new beginning, a blank slate upon which to write. We can use this cultural norm to reinvigorate our practice or to begin to explore this practice anew. And in my experience, really, every moment provides this same opportunity to shed the dross, you might say, to shed what's come up to this point, just to let it go, and to engage in this moment. I'm often reminded of, particularly when I'm not doing this. Recently I was out doing some errands. I had 3 errands to do, and after completing the first, I was walking on my way to the second, and I noticed that my whole focus was on the second errand, how I would implement it, carry it out, rehearsing even. What if this happened? What if that happened? Quite oblivious to my surroundings at the time. This comes up in my life a lot. For example, another case. I usually sit in the morning, and after that I do some stretching, some exercises perhaps. And I often find myself doing 5 of these and 15 of those and 3 of the other. And I can get into a rut where counting the 15 is trying to get somewhere, trying to get to the end of it so that I can get on to the next bit. As though being somewhere else was better than being where I am now. And when I notice this and engage with each repetition of the exercise for itself, it's a completely different experience. This comes up in my practice. There can be a complete shift between, for example, counting my breaths as though I were trying to get somewhere. Maybe this time I'll get up to 10 before I'm distracted. But when it's each breath is the whole universe, each inhalation how to say it, each not that I'm me counting the breath as though we were two, but me being the breath, or me being breathed, not me breathing. Quite a different experience in the breath practice, and not unlike how I treat the rest of my life. This shift is available. It's way easier for me anyway to experience it in the cocoon or the crucible of this stable practice environment. And when I notice things like this in my life, I often credit the awareness of the mechanisms to the practice experience. Sometimes I imagine this practice as being rather like a hot air balloon. Someone says, "Hey, come and check this out. Hot air balloons are pretty cool. You just sit in that basket and see what it's like." So I climb into the basket, and I can sit there for a long time, perhaps imagining or daydreaming about what it would be like to be flying freely with the clouds. But I'm earthbound as long as I engage that way. Perhaps after sitting there for a long time, wondering when I'm going to take off, I might notice that there are a lot of ropes tying the basket down to the ground. There are some thick ones, thin ones, a whole network tethering me. And I also might notice that there are sandbags, ballast, hanging from hooks on the basket. Through this practice, I can notice from time to time, oh, there's another rope that's keeping me bound up, that's anchoring me. Sure, it provides stability. There's safety in being on the ground, no doubt about that. And there may come a time when I notice some of these cords and I choose to untie them or cut them. Many hot air balloons have a source of heat to generate hot air. Perhaps Dharma talks provide a generous source of hot air for our balloon. The whole Zazen practice can be thought of as a heater. We can generate lift through the practice, and we can discover the baggage, the ballast that holds us down. And when we do, we can choose, if we wish, to pitch it overboard. We might engage in this cutting of tethers and pitching out of baggage for a long time without any apparent results. But eventually, there will come perhaps a breeze, and we'll start to lift off. Maybe bumpy, but it will happen. What are these ballasts and tethers? In my experience, they're none other than things that I have hamstrung myself with. Perhaps initially my view is someone did this to me. The world is out to get me. But more and more I see the things that really hold me back are of my own making. And they come in the form of fixed ideas, worldviews, concepts of how things are, how I want them to be. And when I can see them, first to see them, and then to pitch them overboard. And I pitch the same ones overboard again and again, because no sooner do I throw them over than I recreate them somehow. So it's a two bags over and one bag back kind of thing. That's how I see it. For me, the point is that it's inevitable that I lift off. It's a given. If I'm willing to let go, this will happen. I know this from experience. And so it goes. More settling down, more letting go of past and future, of entering into the moment, of being the moment, of being whatever is exactly in front of me. Again and again, using this authentic wisdom tradition, which isn't in and of itself magical as far as I can tell, or better than any other. It's one that resonates with me, and so I've adopted it. Not to cling to it exclusively, and not to get muddled up by dabbling in different traditions either. Just to find what works and engage over and over and over again. Simple. Maybe not so easy, but simple. So here we are, a new season, new possibilities, new energies. A whole world of potential, just waiting for us to be it. Thank you all for coming this evening and engaging together in this practice.
Thanks for listening to the Living Zen-podcast. If you follow Living Zen through iTunes, I would very much appreciate it if you would take a moment to let me know what you think about it by rating or reviewing the podcast, so that new listeners can also hear what you have to say. Thank you for your time and for your support.